Let me set this off the right way. Finally TV, here we are, party people, once again back in the building with another edition of Voice of the Valley live. And remember, don't just dream, inspire. Don't just imagine, create, and just don't believe, achieve. That's the way it's going down right here on IG with all of y'all. So happy to have you with us. Today I am joined by one half of the RECBOY. Goes by the name of Mr. Christopher Rodriguez, aka Mr. Catch Rec. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good looking, man. I appreciate you having me, man. Like you said earlier, this is definitely a long time. I hit you up a while ago. I'm like, yeah, I need an interview. And we're like, yeah, we're going to do it. And then the pandemic happened, and I was supposed to fly over there, and I didn't. But, you know, technology allows us to make this happen, so this is kind of dope.
Yeah, no. And that's what I love about expanding the Voice of the Valley brand to IG, because I can reach out and touch so many other people, not just 845. I want to always rep the 845 and take care of them here, but it's nice to reach out and reach other locales, you know what I mean?
Right. No, definitely. That's exactly what you want to do. You
know what I'm saying? So, Chris, man, you know, I always set off these Voice of the Valleys by asking a question, but in your case, I'm going to ask it a little differently. You had come to the 845 at one time in your lifetime, right? Give us the quick, where you been at, where were you born, and how'd you end up where you at right now, and why is there a tie back to the 845 with you?
So I'm from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised, and I moved upstate probably like 94, 96, somewhere around there. But it was basically our parents trying to take us out of the bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Because in the 80s and 90s, Brooklyn wasn't what it is now. You know what I mean? There was a lot of abandoned buildings. There was crazy shit going on. So they were trying to take us upstate, and we used to go camping in a campground called Swan Lake Campgrounds upstate. And we used to go there every summer for a couple of weeks and shit. And then finally they're like, yo, we moving upstate. We like, oh yeah, but it's fun. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because when you go visit places, everything is good until you actually go live there, right? You know what I'm saying? So when they moved us there, we like, yo, what the fuck? There's no train. Like, where the cabs? Like,
need a bike.
The TV was crazy. And like, yeah, but yeah, you know what I mean? But yeah, then, you know, that's how the whole upstate thing came. And I've been upstate. I stayed upstate all the way to, 2015.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you're up here over 20 years.
Yeah, I was up there. I graduated up there, yeah.
Oh, upstate, wow. So where was you at?
I was in Western upstate, Sullivan County.
Got you. Okay. And now, you know, you in Florida now. You know what I mean? You've got the family down there and all that. So that's wonderful. You know, just to kind of give them a little bit of a foundation for the rest of your story, right? So you do your thing, you know, you got a 9-to-5 like everybody else. You got your situation, you're situated with that. But on the other side of that, aside from all those responsibilities, you've also been involved with music and media for quite some time. So just catch me up and catch the audience up on that part of it. Like, let's start with early Chris. Like, were you always into music? Were you making music? Talk to me about that.
So I've been into music since a kid, actually, but it started off with Spanish music, like salsa, merengue, and shit. I used to think I could dance. You know what I'm saying? So I used to be the life of the party as a kid. So growing up around that, and then, you know, that's later on the hip hop started taking over, you know what I mean, the late 80s and all that. And you get the tape decks, you put you fill the corner so you can record over the shit, record the radio, you know what I mean? And I used to sit there with the mic and try to like MC that shit. And I used to think I was like a DJ and all that. That's how it started for me, you know what I'm saying? And then later, like around 2002, my cousin started an entertainment company in Brooklyn called Locust Street Entertainment. Okay. And I started messing with them doing promotions, and then I'm upstate, but he's in Brooklyn. And my wife's cousin had an entertainment company up there. Actually, that's how I met Drawzilla, because Psycho Cyrus was with them. That's how I met Jay Hatch. Okay. All those guys, because they used to manage him and record him and shit. So I started messing with them, and I ended up meeting Rashad in like, I want to say like 05, 04, somewhere around there. And we started an entertainment company then called like Soul Entertainment. Not really knowing we young, you know what I'm saying? And we start messing around, like just doing parties, DJing, making beats and whatever. And something happened with him. He had some personal issues. And then we picked back up, probably it was like 2010, 2011, and we started catching Rec Entertainment. And right then and there, we was like, yo, we just gonna do beats. You know what I mean? Like
Got
Shad
you.
used to come by and be like, yo, let's make music. And I'm like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm into other stuff. I'm not really trying to do that. And by him being so persistent and actually putting in the footwork, he started going to buy equipment and doing shit like that and bringing it to the house. You know what I mean? So we ended up building a little studio and we started making beats. And then we ended up getting a first placement on a book trailer called Rise to Grace.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the first placement, and salute to that and congrats on that. Did that springboard you guys a little bit? Did you start getting kind of momentum with that? You started getting more of that?
Yeah, it felt like that. Actually, through them same people, we ended up going to the Puerto Rican Day Parade and
Oh
performing
wow.
before it and walking in it. It was a
Yeah.
dope ass experience.
Wow. Okay, so y'all took it there with that. Now,
Yeah.
let me say to the people who might not even know right now, so Chris Rodriguez is one half of the RECBOYs that you just explained. They have a podcast that's very popular. I was put onto it by my own podcast, and my partner in podcast, Blackout, had told me about y'all. You know what I mean? And wild guests on there, a lot of celebrity type level people on there, you know, people that you want to hear from on there. So their show is popping. It's on Facebook Wednesday, 7 p.m. Now,
Thank you, man. Thank you.
no doubt. So like, but from there, Chris, so I wanted to just take them there so they know exactly why you're here today, because you got to go watch this man's show Wednesday, 7 p.m., right? YouTube, IG, and Facebook. But so you're doing that stuff. You guys are working together, making productions and stuff. That's 2011, 2012. When did that all culminate with you guys getting in front of cameras and all that?
So we started doing the beats. We ended up compiling a whole bunch of beats. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And be like, yo, we're gonna get artists. You know what I'm saying? So we started getting artists. We started doing the whole record label thing and pushing that. And then yeah, like we were going crazy with that. And then I moved to Florida, and as I moved to Florida, life happens. You know what I mean? People start they building families, they doing other things, so everybody kind of went their own way.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then me and Shad still connected. You know what I mean? And we had the Catch a Wreck Entertainment thing, and we like. But in the process of that, in New York, we already had an FM radio station. I forgot to even say that. We had an FM radio show on an FM radio station in New York for like 2 years. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And we got tired of them telling us what we could play. You know what I mean? We went in saying we're gonna play independent artist music, right? And they were cool with it, but they wanted to start throwing other songs in. And we like, nah, this ain't what we came here for. You know what I mean? We here for 2 years. Y'all getting the most views y'all got. You know what I mean? Y'all, you talking Sullivan County. They never played hip hop up there. We were playing Biggie. We were playing everything. 845 artists, everything. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they kept messing with us, and we like, you know what? We're not gonna do it. That was before I left New York. And then when I came out here and everything kind of, we were contemplating like, yo, what are we going to do? You know what I mean? And we always had this thing called Catch a Record TV, where we would record stuff in the studio. You know what I mean? Like, we got a lot of footage of shit like that. So we said, yo, let's just do it in the studio with the RECBOYs. You know what I mean? And that's how the show came about. And it was just pretty much, real talk was BET meets Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube Live. Like that was the whole thing behind it, you know what I mean? Because it's video based.
Got you. What year was that show came alive?
So we went from on the rec. That was we had the Friday night pregame. That was like 2013. In the studio with the RECBOY started about 2015, 2016, around there.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And you know, DJ Duya was on here just before it. I was saluting him for having a 10-year anniversary with his joint. You know, like the word, man, right?
That's
so big. If you add us together, maybe we're close. You know what I'm saying? Like, FinallyTV's been around since 2018. That's 4. So you guys got like 6. You know, so we got the 10 years right there. You know what I'm saying?
Now that's dope. Salute to them, man, because this is hard work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially what you're gonna do after this. Like, you know what I mean? This is the easy part. You set up the camera, do that. The work comes after, and that's what the people don't see. You know what I mean? So salute to them for sticking to everything for as long as they have.
Absolutely. So off them, back to you type of deal. With that whole show, you and SHAD is what's his whole name? DJ RECBOY SHAD, right? That's the full name. Yeah. So shout my brother. So y'all two on the show, you know, much like other successful shows, maybe like what we talking about, you know, you guys have different personalities on the show, right? You're gonna have different perspectives, and that's what makes these shows all work, right? What would you say you bring to that in that aspect, and what would you say your partner's bringing for that? What's the counter to that?
You know what's crazy is that SHAD is he's very opinionated. You know what I mean? Like he says his shit and thinks about it later. You know what I mean? And me, I'm more, you know what I mean? At times
calculated.
I'm more, calculated, and I'm sitting back and observing. You know what I mean? And then for us, that's how the show works real good, because in the spur of the moment, he might say some shit or I might say some shit, and then later we talk like, yo, yeah, you was bugging. Yeah, damn, you're right. You know what I mean? But, so it's like the yin and the yang. It's crazy. And even how we met, I met him because his sister threatened me with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, when my brother come, he gonna, and I'm like, all right, like, yo, she was threatening me for years. And I tell you about this story for years. And I'm thinking, okay, yo, damn, when SHAD come home, like, it's some big dude, like, oh, shit is gonna be crazy. That's how bad she was threatening me. Then when he came home, I'm like, you SHAD? Like, you know what I'm saying? He was tall, you know what I mean? But I thought he was some Devo type dude and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. See, I love the stories we get to hear on this show, man. I really do appreciate you taking your time today and coming out here. All right, so with SHAD, you know, he seems to be the engineer for the show too, right? Like he's like me on the show, right? He's like kind of doing all the stuff, right? So that's super helpful, you know. So shout out to that, bro. I just wanted to give him a little flowers while we're here, because you know that's important, SHAD. That's
the hard work. That's
you know
the
what
shit
I mean?
I just said. That's the hard work. The shit they don't see.
Yeah, the shit they don't see. Absolutely. All right, so I'm gonna let you toot your horn a little bit, because you know with Voice of the Valley, it's about letting you shine and taking any light that I get, brother. I try to put it on y'all. You know what I'm saying? And with that light, I want you to poke your chest out and talk about some of these high level guests that you've had on your show, brother.
Yeah.
Because
I can't like humbly, like it all happened. It's crazy how it happened. Like, you know what I mean? I think the first guy we had on the show, I think I want to say is Billy Dancer, MOP. And when we had him on the show, he was having technical difficulties getting in, because like this was before COVID. You know what I mean? Where people wasn't on these cameras like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we ended up doing an interview with holding the phone to the thing. You know what I mean? And for us, and I can't say you know what I mean? Because it's definitely us, like me and SHAD. Like, and we said we was disappointed. You know what I mean? But it was a milestone for us. You know what I mean? To have a dude of that stature on the show. You know what I mean? And SHAD just started going crazy. Start doing a whole bunch of research and figuring stuff out, and always coming every show with something different. And as that happened, we started getting better and better people. We ended up having Cassidy on the show, Miss Hustle, Rampage. Damn, yo, there's so many, bro.
You had a lot, bro.
Yeah, Jimi Kendrix, Arsonist. There's a lot, man. We've been blessed.
You had Cortez.
Cortez, the battle rapper. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's and then you had on the hoodies. You recently had on. You know what I'm saying? Recently had on D Weathers last night. That was a dope interview. You know what I mean? That brother surprised me, man. Like, I haven't watched many interviews with him, and that answer he gave on who he would be the top 5 for him in the that one hit for me, man. You know what I mean? I wasn't really even effing with him like that until I heard him say that, and I was like, yo, for him not to mention who I thought he was gonna mention, and he put those people up, I was like, yes. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see it, but now I see it. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying?
Now, yo, he's media trained. I don't know if you heard me tell him that. He's media trained, and that's dope because he knows how to answer the questions. He knows what to say. You know what I mean? He seems genuine as shit. It's like I was telling SHAD last night. I'm like, I wouldn't have thought he was the person he was. You know what I mean? Which is why these interviews are important. You know what I mean? Because like people tell me all the time, yo, you look mad unapproachable. Like once they get to know me and talk to me, they're like, yo, I look like you look like I just can't go up to you and have a conversation. I'm like, why? They say, yeah, you never smile. I'm like, so what? That don't mean shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But when they actually get to know me, they're like, oh, yo, he does smile. He laughs.
Right.
But You know what I'm saying? And that's why this shit is very important. But to the in the studio shit, we really wanted just to do independent artists, right? But doing the independent artists is a grind, right? Like, you got to believe in them just how they got to believe in you at that point. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
you're building a platform with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it was hard. It was hard. You know what I'm saying? To get the interviews and all that shit. Even if the independent artists, because we're independent too. We're trying to come up. So then me and Shad started talking, and we like, yo, maybe the way to do it is to start reaching out to some people and getting some bigger names to come on and pass some of the insight that they've been to the artists, but not only that, but interview them as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, get some questions in, but try to get some knowledge out of it as well. You know what I mean? That's the whole premises of the show, really, is to help people be heard and seen. You know what I mean? And give artists a platform to do that. You know what I mean? As well as network with everybody. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in Florida, Shad in New York, and we link up with FinallyTV, Too Humble, like all these different platforms, and we start networking, sharing each other's shit, and then now you see how all of a sudden people are starting to go around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they do like a media run. You know what I'm saying? And it's been working out like that. And like we recently had Meaty Bone on what we talking about for a review. He was on Too Humble last night. You know what I'm saying? Right after your show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's dope. I think that's kind of what I envisioned. You know what I'm saying? When I jumped in the game real quick. You know what I mean?
You know what it is too? Just how, like you said, you didn't hear us. And it's the same. It's the same for a lot of them too. Like, even just because we from upstate New York and it is small, you know what I mean? Like, literally, like the divide between upstate New York is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, if you from Monticello, it's rare you would go to Newburgh or Poughkeepsie or Kingston or wherever. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are not getting in their car to go drive and do that. You know what I mean? It's very rare. So when this comes along the internet, and it takes somebody like the viewers who tuned in right now to hit that share button, because I tell people all the time, yo, I can share your shit. The people who fuck with me are gonna fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Or give their opinion. But if I share it and tag you in it and put it on your page, they're going to look like, oh, look, somebody just spammed Gabe again. Like, you know what I'm saying? But now if you post it, it's like, oh, Gabe stamped this. So let me see.
Right. Now, that's a great point, because you can oversaturate in a negative way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there is a right way to do things. Now, you're absolutely right when you say that. Back to you and what you got going on. So, are y'all still involved with like production and placements and all that? Like, what's besides the show that's been successful and is still growing and it's going to continue to grow? Is there another piece to RECBOYs now, or is that like kind of like the mothership for the company?
Nah, honestly speaking, how we see it is like Catchy Rec Entertainment is like the Walmart. You know what I'm saying? And inside of Walmart, you have in the studio with the RECBOYs. You have DJ RECBOY Shad who does DJ gigs and things of that nature, hosting and all that. And then now you got Mr. Catch Rec, you know what I'm saying, who does hosting, you know what I mean? And pretty much the podcast, like, is basically what I'm trying to build for myself is a personality, which is one thing, and this is crazy. I was telling my wife earlier, I'm like, I never wanted to be on the camera. That was never my thing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even want nobody to know who I was. And for the longest, nobody did. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, that's, you know what I mean? That's Catchy Rec. Because they didn't know my name. They didn't know who the fuck I was. I would be behind everybody. You know what I'm saying? And then moving away and Shad, again, pushing me, can't bring this about.
Got you.
But as far as production and shit, we still making music. We haven't tried to do no placements or anything of that nature, you know what I'm saying? But we still got a bunch of music.
Now, with all the independent artists that you've come across and helped promote and probably helped develop, would it be fair to say that y'all try to dive into a little artist development in that world, or were you only dealing with people who had ready packages and they're ready to go?
No, we did everything. Like, we did everything. In the label, we did everything. We recorded. We built the studio in the basement of my house. You know what I'm saying? We had an engineer who graduated from Full Sail University out here in Florida. And we recorded everything. We got probably we got a lot of music, and all original, all you know what I mean, like done by us. And it was crazy because the first beat that we ever made, me and Shad, all our beats pretty much are together, like a joint effort. Like here, SHAD to do something, send it to me, I put something on it, then we'll send it to the artist, and the artist to do some shit, send it back, and then we all, you know what I'm saying? Like there's very few beats that he did by himself, I did by myself, whatever. And that's how we operate, you know what I mean? And sometimes that's the problem too, you know what I mean? Like you got to make sure that core unit, which is why people say all the time it's hard to have the team, but you got to find the right people. When you find the right people,
it clicks.
Yeah, and everybody everybody got to know their job, whether they're the boss of it or not. You're like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, listen, this is what you do. This is what you do. When you done, we talk. Make sure that's done. On to the next. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. No, absolutely right. Absolutely right. So, you guys would welcome like other independent artists to come rock with y'all and talk business with y'all and do something currently? Is that something that's on the table?
Nah, right now, honestly, I'm not interested in that personally.
You're not?
SHAD might be, but I'm not right now.
Got you.
It's hard to put your faith in everything in somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And I've done that, you know what I mean, for so long. Yeah, it's almost to the point where you see something in them that they don't see in themselves, and then it starts affecting you. You know what I'm saying? So right now it's like, we heard artists, you know what I mean? We spoke with a couple of artists, but we never got to the point to like, yo, you know what I mean? You want to do something? No, not yet.
Got you. So from my point of view and from what I'm gathering from what you're saying, you know, to really be able to take in as a consumer, a customer, a watcher, a supporter, a fan, the way for me to engage with you the most is to make sure I'm tuning in on Wednesday, 7 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram on the RECBOY page, correct?
Yeah, correct. In the studio with the RECBOYs, that's the best way right now. And again, the show's not only for independent artists. You know what I'm saying? We do producers, we do actors, models. Pretty much it's anybody independent. You know what I mean? We want the people who are out here grinding. You know what I mean? Who trying to do something with themselves, and not the people who playing with it. You know what I mean? Like if it's a hobby for you, that's cool. I respect it. You know what I'm saying? But that's not who I'm looking for. That's not who I'm trying to help.
I want to ask you about an event that y'all put on. I've been ever since we got legal, bro. But listen, y'all put on a producer challenge thing, right? Wasn't that y'all?
Challenge. Yeah, it was a Blast Your Beats, but it wasn't
Blast Your Beats.
Yeah, it wasn't a challenge. It was just.
But you had people listening. You had. It was like a listening party.
Right. Yeah, it was more of a. So again, this was COVID, so where people can't get next to each other. So we came up with the idea of, all right, we bring on a well-known producer to listen to produce his beats and give him feedback. You know what I'm saying?
Super fire, bro. So I wanted to, because I'm going to ask you a specific question right now, but I wanted to get this one out of the way because I wanted to talk about this particular one. It's stuff like that, bro, right? How simple does it sound to say, yo, you know, I know XYZ. I might be a couple of degrees separated from XYZ. I could probably get them to come on a live with me, listen to some, and, you know, play some beats and stuff. So easy to say. Rarely does anybody ever follow through and actually do it, right? So that's what separates you and me from everybody else, because we do. We don't just say it's done, right? So super dope for you. Putting on that event, because it was COVID, so you saw like a gap in there where you were like, yo, I could talk to so-and-so and we could get a bunch of producers on here playing beats. In your mind, why are you doing that, Chris? I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. Why are you doing that?
Because we honestly, we want to help. Like having the record label and seeing what it was, putting all this money, putting all this effort into it, and kind of like almost seeing something, and then it just gets like pulled from you. You know what I'm saying? And you grind it, like you said. You know, we got jobs, we got kids, we got mortgages, we got car payments. You know what I'm saying? Life happens. You know what I mean? So you coming from that, we realize like, yo, we need something. We need to build something for us with them that they could call home. You know what I'm saying? That they could come and know like, yo, we got them. And then while we got them, while we out here networking, we gonna build a platform to where we can all do it together. You know what I'm saying? Like we always been on that type of, like, you could check in the studio when it first started on the rec, when we had that internet radio station. Before that, the Friday night pregame, ever since we started this whole, radio podcast journey, it always been about power in numbers. Like we got a mixtape that's called Power in Numbers. Like we got mixtapes with like probably 60 845 artists. You know what I'm saying? That's out from back then. We've been on that type of time, but when you're on that type of time and you're always constantly trying to do something with people, that energy that they giving you sometimes could fuck everything up. Not saying that y'all not fucking with each other, but what y'all set out to do don't happen. And then, you know what I'm saying? But not saying that it's not going to get revisited, but maybe that wasn't the time. And I think that happens a lot too. And life goes on. You know what I mean? Like, people really think that there's some people who probably tuned in like, yo, damn, Chris is over there, but he got in the studio. Or he on FinallyTV. Like, they mind is that fucked up that they can't see that this is more powerful than what the fuck they thinking. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's with the music like that too. It's with the artists too. You know, producers, all of them. Like, like, yo, listen, I tell people all the time, if me and Gabe right now, we just keep talking over each other, y'all not going to understand shit. But if we stop and Gabe screamed FinallyTV and I screamed Catch a Wreck in the studio with the RECBOYs, y'all heard us now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So together we just did that. Now we involve the others and we grow. You know what I mean? Like I just said earlier, the artists are now, if you notice, doing the round, right? They're going around and seeing the platforms. What we fucking up is because we not connecting to make that happen before they even think about making that happen and capitalizing and doing, monetizing on shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's where it's fucked up. But maybe by saying it out loud now, instead of just having independent conversations with people here and there, people will understand and make it pop. You know what I mean?
I could not agree more, man. And that's a whole nother discussion too, because like I could really get into that. Maybe we should just have a podcast on that, like on the Tuesday or the Wednesday. You know, come on, you know, and we'll talk about that part, because I got so much to say about that right now.
Because
like,
in your interview that you interviewed yourself, you was alluding to shit, and I'm like, I'm screaming at the camera. My wife was like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Fucking Gabe, say it." Like, I know what you want to say. Just say the shit. Like, you don't gotta say the name, but you can say it, because sometimes, and this be the problem with us, right? Like, we don't know how to hold each other accountable sometimes. If you really fuck with somebody, you got to be able to tell them how you feel, whether they like it or not. And y'all still got to be able to keep moving forward if it's that real. Like, if y'all really peoples with each other, you know what I mean? And we don't know how to do that with each other. You know what I mean? Which is why a lot of shit fucks up, because we don't trust ourselves. So how the fuck we going to trust somebody else?
I really thought that, if you haven't checked out the 100th interview yet, go and check that out on FinallyTV. But I thought it was necessary, man, for me to do that, and I had to say what I said on there. You know what I'm saying? And like, I probably could have went more in on stuff more, but you know, it was like, one, I didn't want people to take that the wrong way. I'd rather, because I know what you're kind of alluding to, and I could go a little harder on certain things and just be more blunt about it. But in that setting where I'm interviewing myself, it was already narcissistic. You know what I'm saying?
But it was dope. It was a good fucking idea. That was a good idea.
Yeah, thank you, guys. So, you know, I don't want to take too much of your time. These Voices of the Valley, I like to keep them a little shorter, but there's a couple of questions I have for you. Do you have a few more minutes with me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because like, for Voice of the Valley moving forward, when I get artists on here, I've been doing a lot of business owners and different types of people from different genres. So I didn't get into my full swing with questions. So I'm gonna give you a little taste. But like, let me ask you this, and this is a perfect question for you because you've been in 3 different locales. Is it legit harder to get noticed in the 845 than other areas?
Yes, it's smaller. There's not too many people going up there to go check it out. And there's not a lot of opportunities for the artists either. Like, think about it. Like, how many radio stations are playing hip-hop music in general? So as an independent artist, how much more harder is it going to be for them to get their music played on the radio station? You know what I'm saying? They got to go other places. And that's the crazy part.
It's interesting. It's interesting because, like, I feel like, and I respect what you're saying, but I tend to feel like people use it as a crutch for their lack of success. Right.
No, that's a fact too. Because not only saying that, like, there's not there's opportunity there because people like you guys are doing it, Mikey, Aaron, like they're bringing opportunity. But like I tell people all the time, yo, you gotta leave the nest sometimes. Like, you know what I mean? You can't stay here hovered over the eggs all day. Like, you gotta go get food. You know what I mean? And what I'm saying about food is you gotta get out here and go grind. You know what I mean? You might have to go travel to PA to go do something. You might have to go to Virginia. You might have to go make it happen. Like, people got so comfortable with this internet that this right here is possible, that this is good enough for them now. Like, the album release parties and shit like that are going down here. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of dope, but it's kind of whack too, because they're missing that interaction. Right. Like, this interview right now is dope, but if we were sitting next to each other, it'd be 10 times better.
Well, yeah, and that's the true essence. Yeah, that's the true essence of this show. Yeah, and that's what I said. That's why I had to make mention, because so many people had consumed 100 episodes of Voice of the Valley in that exact setting. You know what I'm saying? That you're talking about, that one-on-one in the same room, feeling the energy and all that. You know what I mean? Which is also why I think it was a good thing that you and I waited a little while to do this. Because you and I have built a rapport over the last couple of years. You know what I'm saying? So there's a familiarity with each other. So doing this interview, I'm going to get probably a little bit more out of you than some person that doesn't know you, just because it's me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what SHAD said yesterday. He said, yo, Gabe the perfect person to interview. I'm like, why? He's like, because you don't be liking to talk. You know what I'm saying? And you know him, so the conversation's going to be more smooth. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that it's big facts to that. It's big facts to that. So, this question kind of goes hand in hand with the first one, but if you heard what I said, that I think people use it as a crutch, let's go from there, right? So I'm going to ask it like this. Does hate play a part in the lack of support in the area, or is there just a lack of talent?
You know what's crazy? Damn. I don't want to say hate. I want to say it's sometimes when you're too accessible to people. Like, and I was telling D Weather this last night. Like, when people see you all the time, they're more reluctant to support you. And what I mean by that is because they can reach out to you, touch you, talk to you, do whatever. Like, your dream to them is not really real sometimes unless they really, really fuck with you, right? You know what I mean? So when you finally on your journey, that person might not really be the guy who goes and supports the mixtape, tunes into the podcast, subscribes, you know what I'm saying, buys merch, and appreciate you for wearing the shirt, man.
Of course.
But, you know, stuff like that, you know what I mean? So sometimes it can be the hate, but I think it's more so, damn, I don't even know how to put this, man. I think it's more so people not knowing how to come together, man. Like, yo, there's so much talent up there. So much. And D Weathers alluded to this last night. He was like, yo, he's like, I know how to fall in line. If somebody was on my team and is doing way better, they would go first and I would sit back. And if people understood that, it would be crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, there's a bunch of dope artists. They just say, yo, listen, man, this is the plan. We all gonna put the money in the pot. This is the first one who we gonna go send to the studio, do the video, do the marketing, do the promotion, get the paperwork, He go first. Once he go, we put more money into it, blah, blah, blah. That shit start moving. All right, you second, you third. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and just go that way, it would be crazy. But everybody is, you know, egos play part. Like, we you know, we grown men and women. You know what I mean? We want I sometimes, and it fucks shit up.
Yeah, well said, brother. I can't wait to pose this question on these actual people that we're speaking to and hear what they have to say back to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So,
and real quick too, a bunch of them got to put in the work too, man.
Oh, you mean you actually got to put time, money, and effort into making it? Is that true?
Yeah, it's facts. Like, yo, listen, you can't just sit there. Like, even like people say all the time. Like, I remember when we first started the podcast, and I was reaching out to people, and one person was like, "I'm not gonna pay to come on your show." Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yo, look, at the time it was only $25. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, $25. Like, yo, listen, I know you. Like, you smoked that in an hour. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's nothing. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, fuck it. And then we started, you know, me and SHAD putting our head together, started going and started doing shit. And then now the price is up. And people, either you pay it or you don't. You know what I'm saying? Before we were stressing it. Now it's like, yo, if you don't want to do it, that's cool. It is what it is. Because, again, we understand, yeah, that $45 might be the Pampers tonight. It might be the milk. We understand. You know what I'm saying? But in order to keep this moving and keeping the money in our hands. And what I mean is by I make $1 and then now I come and I give some to Gabe so Gabe can make some money and give some to somebody else.
Yep.
That's how we break this shit.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. So with the show, right before I ask you this next question, with the show, what is the course of action for somebody if they want to get on the show and get the spotlight and get their video played and all that? Because we haven't really talked about the inner workings of the show itself. You know what I'm saying? Like there's different segments to the show, you know, and one of those segments is rec or rec, right? So, and that's where you're playing videos and all that. Now, do people have to pay to get their video played, or is that something you're doing just to have some content there?
You know, we just do it just, again, it started to help them be heard and seen. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So the videos is just send us the videos. Send it to the email, in the studio, CRE@gmail.com, or hit us up on any social media, In the Studio with the RECBOYs.
Got you. And when this is on YouTube, bro, trust me, everything's going to be on the screen because they'll see all or the whole interview. That's all they've been seeing over here somewhere.
I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you kind of answered my question just now. I ain't going to lie. But how do you intend on being different and making the difference now with your platform?
I mean, I think we kind of already showed it. Like we have done again. We've done the beat battles, and again, when we did those, we ain't charged not a penny. Not a penny. You know what I'm saying? We put in the work to reach out to guys like Amadeus, Phantom of the Beat, Jimi Kendrix, Arsonist. Then who else? I think we had one other one. We got Dawkins coming on it. We set up another one with Dawkins who produced for Eminem. But we don't charge for that. That was strictly like, yo, listen, we want to help. You know what I'm saying? And how else better than to get a one-on-one listening session from some guy who has a platinum plaque? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they didn't charge us. Real talk.
Yeah.
So no, salute to them.
No, that's super dope. That's super dope. So let me ask you this. A lot of people from my generation, as soon as they heard the name Mr. Catch Rec or Hey Yo, this the RECBOYs, we know exactly what it is.
What is it? Tell me, because it's interesting. Because people be really messing up.
They mess this up a lot, cousin. All right. To me, catching rec was like, it could be a couple different ways. I could be on a ball court, and my handle might be on fire that day. Okay, I'm out there catching rec. You know what I'm saying? I could be whooping your ass really bad. You know what I'm saying? I caught rec on you. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. I don't know what the other meanings are out there that people conjure up. But that's what it is.
You're 100% right. It's all of that and more, though. It's all of that and more. What we have, the whole premises behind it is, if you can catch a record, setting out to be the best at anything you do. Right? Just how you said, you used to go to the basketball court, you doing your thing, you know what I mean? You catch a rec. When you left, you told your people outside. We catch a rec, and that's how catch a rec started. You know what I mean? We used to go play ball around everywhere and do our thing, whatever. But then we threw a twist on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, listen, you could be a doctor, you could be producer, engineer, anything you want to be. You putting your best foot forward, you doing your thing, you catching wreck. You know what I mean? So that in turn, the slogan is more than music, it's a lifestyle. Because catching wreck to us is a lifestyle.
There it is. There it is. Catch wreck in everything you do, and you will be ahead of the game. I promise you. Chris, man, pleasure speaking with you. I'm so happy we got this done and in. There's a lot more that we can talk about, though. So there might have to be like a part, dose down the line, whether it's a month, 2 months, you know what I'm saying? And we'll just have this conversation, man, because we could pick up from here and have another 45-minute conversation. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to tell you now, while you're here in front of me, kind of like, I'm going to steal a page from Nori, and I've been trying to do it as much as I can. Shout out to Drink Champs and all that, but to give you some flowers, man, I think it's dope with the consistency that you guys got with your show. You know what I mean? I think it's super solid and hate to use the term, it's real with you. Like, I can tell you're a real individual. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Thank you, man. Thank you.
you know, and SHAD just seems to shoot from the hip, man, and I respect it. You know what I mean? And he's always showing me love. Y'all have shown me nothing but love, so it's only right for me to tell y'all, you know, I think the show has evolved. You know, in the studio with RECBOY, when I first started watching it, looked a certain way. And now when you turn it on, it looks way different. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
it's
right.
evolving. You know what I mean? Y'all got segments set up. You know, I love how you guys got your overlays going and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just looks
Thank you.
cool. You know what I'm
Thank you.
saying? So
Thank you.
like, I think the show's dope. And like, what I think is cool too is that you guys definitely have a presence. And you know, because you were here for so long, and SHAD's still here, and he's still representing and stuff. So you guys have like a presence in the 845 and the Valley and stuff. And obviously, so do I. You know what I mean? And Too Humble and a few others, right? But I think it's dope how between all of us, we definitely are touching probably 90% of the artists that are even trying to really do something for real in the area. You know what I'm saying? So salute to you, because I feel like the ones that I might not be able to get on the show for whatever reason, y'all catch them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it
and
seems
then
to
like
be
I
more
said,
y'all.
they're gonna start now. Listen, they're gonna circle back around. They're gonna have to, and why they're gonna have to is because we gonna get smart, and we got to
Pushing them out.
figure
Yeah,
out
yeah.
how we gonna monetize this, because this is a business, man. Like, real talk. Even if we gotta start our own type shit, you know what I
Yep.
mean. But going back to the video shit that you was talking about, salute the SHAD for that. Real
Yeah.
talk. You know
Yeah.
what I mean. That man has put in a lot of work
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes, a lot of hours. You know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Figuring out how to do all that. You know what I mean. Because
Right.
again, we was doing this before COVID, before people
Mm-hmm.
were thinking about doing video shit. Podcast
Right.
before was just MP3.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Go back to 2015. We were doing this, like, you know what I'm saying, like.
Mm-hmm.
So it was crazy how everything transpired. And then you start seeing the bigger ones doing it. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
then everything was crazy, and we was like, "Yo, damn, this is something." You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
at first you really don't. You're doing something, but you might not see the full potential value in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then
Right.
all of a sudden you start seeing other people. You're like, "Yo, there's value in this." And then you start seeing like-minded individuals, and those are
Mm-hmm.
the people you try to connect with and build with. And
Yep.
nothing happens overnight. You know what I mean? And people got to understand that
Yep.
life happens for people. You know what I mean? So yeah, y'all might have had some plans to do something, but don't let that be the reason why the shit don't happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it's something that's real, and you feel that it's real, and that's the people you need to link with to make it happen,
Mm-hmm.
make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I couldn't have said it better. I'm just saying not in my head because I don't want to echo it, man. But yes, I agree. You know, Chris, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate all the insight you've given today. I think you opened up a little bit, so I appreciate that. I think the people who watch your show, when they watch this back, because I know they ain't all here right now, when they watch this back, I think you're gonna have even a bigger appreciation for what you're bringing to that show, kind of knowing a little bit more about you. So that's why I thought this interview was super important for me to do. You know what I mean? I wanted to be the one to kind of introduce the other side of Mr. Catch Rec. You know what I'm saying? It was,
Appreciated that. Appreciate that.
yeah,
'Cause I
man.
need that. I needed that. I need people to know that I'm not that rough shit that you see. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, underneath the, what you call it,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? I really am a genuine, like, I tell people all the time, like, they're like, "Yo, what's your meaning on earth?" And I'm like, "Yo, to help.
Yeah,
To
that's what's
help."
up.
And that's my
That's what's up.
downfall in the same token.
Mm-hmm. Yo, good. You know, nice guys finish last, bro. But you know what? It is what it
But
is,
by me
though.
helping, I've been
Mm-hmm.
blessed.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I lose some. I'm
Mm-hmm.
with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But with the people around me and the foundation that's getting built every day. Because, like, yo, listen, even when houses get built, man, you can knock the roof off, take that bitch up another floor. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
It don't stop at the ceiling. Like, people say, "Yo, this the ceiling's lit." Don't stop. Build that bitch the fuck up. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
other entities, like the other FinallyTV, Too Humble, In the
Mm-hmm.
Field Radio, like that. Six Borough. That's the other floors to this shit. Like, now we got
Right.
skyscrapers, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we own the
Right.
shit.
Right.
Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Even
Right.
with the artists, like, yo, listen, man, and I gotta keep it a buck before you kick me up out of your game. Artists, fuck with the local people you got, as far as the podcast, the radio stations, and all that. That's how you gonna get out to other people, man.
Mm-hmm.
You
Absolutely.
not saying use them, but work with them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be on your shit. That, like, y'all from the same area, so y'all talk all the time, and y'all don't link because
Mm-hmm.
the ego is in the way. Y'all gonna help each other. Not one of us is bigger than nobody else. Even though our ego might tell us that, you know what I'm saying, but it's really not. Like, we all want something similar. Find out what the similar is and link up on that and make it happen.
Bro, even if you had half-inch planks only, if you stack them up and keep stacking it, you will get to 10 feet. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is, man. You know what I mean? So everything helps. Everything plays a part. That every half-inch of that 10 feet was placed, you know what I'm saying, to work up to 10 feet. And the analogy, I make that analogy because I think people feel like, oh, man, I got to go 10 feet. So how am I going to put this little half-inch board down for? You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, because if you do it, and then she does it, and then he does it, and then they do it, before you know it, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I'm going to give you a little story real quick. So we had the hoodies on. Damn, I don't know when's the first time we had the hoodies on. We had them on probably like 2-3 years ago, right? And no, actually, no. Let me rephrase that. We had Jimmy Kendrick on the show, right? And we talking to Jimmy, and we telling Jimmy, you know, we talking about 845 artists and shit, and we like, yo, you ever heard of the hoodies? He's like, nah. We like, yo, you gotta hear them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A year, 2 years later, year and a half later, the hoodies got a song with Jimmy Kendrick. Let me put it on the books right now. We had nothing to do with it. Yeah. The part we had was projecting it into the air.
That's it.
That's powerful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even last night with D Weathers, I'm like, yo, listen, man, you need a song with Dream Dog. I don't know Dream Dog. I don't know Dream Dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I know somebody who does know her. I don't know. Right. I haven't asked nobody. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. But, you know what I'm saying? But we got to put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want y'all to have the most FinallyTV and what we talk about podcast to have millions and millions of subscribers. If I don't say it, somebody else not gonna say it. They're not gonna tell it to somebody else. Like, you know what I'm saying? It goes with the sharing analogy that we said earlier. You know what I mean? Like, we really gotta like speak about shit more. You know what I mean? And not only think by talking about somebody be taken away from us. You actually bigging yourself up because it shows a lot about your character. Like, you know what I mean? It's not all about you. I hate people that I speak to and they're like, I. You haven't heard me say one I here tonight, and I'm supposed to be getting interviews about me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I haven't done none of this by myself. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. No, I take it like my boy Senior G, man. It takes a village, man. You know what I mean? It does sometimes. You know, you need a nice little support team. Shout out to Santos Garcia, who I interviewed recently, and he was all about that, like putting around the right team and just, you know, persevering and being consistent and everybody putting in honest effort. He was big on honest effort, you know, and I think that gets lost in the sauce sometimes, like kind of like what you said before about, you know, it's even just because you dope, you know, it's not just going to happen. You got to like make it happen. You know what I mean? So,
you know what it is too? I'm not going to say you or I, 'cause I know I don't know your situation, but sometimes we have these goals, but we don't set the date, right? So you can have this goal for fucking forever. And I learned this. No lie, I'm about ready to be, I'm about ready to be 40 this year, right? It took me till I was about 32, 33 to realize that it's really like, it's me. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's what I let happen.
Yeah. You're in control. Yep. And I think a lot of people, man, fall victim to their own selves, man. You know what I mean? That's a whole hour-long conversation too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But before I let you go, I want you to pump your chest out real quick. And why is it that, and SHAD alludes to it all the time, what is it or how is it that you seem to have these connections to like the industry though? Like what's that coming from?
It's growing up in Brooklyn, man, and knowing a bunch of people who know people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy. Like, there's one little rainbow kid who run around and all that shit. Like, he's from my block. I know his family. I know all of them. Like, he wasn't the kid. Yeah, he wasn't the kid that y'all see or seen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally grew up. Marcy Projects is right like a block and a half away from where I grew up. You know what I mean? So it's just knowing people and being outside. Like, I grew up in a different era. Like,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
We was
I'm going
outside.
to Manhattan. I'm going to
Right.
Bronx. I'm going here. I'm going there. I'm meeting people. And it's in the school. This is the blessing about New York. Like, once you go to high school, you could go to whatever school you want. So you could hop on the train and go to the Bronx if you want to go to the Bronx. You could go to Eastern District. You could go,
Just up
like,
to you
you
what
could
you want to
move.
travel. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And they got certain schools that you could, like, apply for. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of prep you for the college shit. Like, yeah, you got to apply to this high school if your grades is right type shit. You could go to automotive and all that. But that's how you meet people. And by being
Right,
outside, that's how I
right.
was meeting people. And then with the Catch and Wreck shit, like, we was in the car. Like, we was on the road. We was doing shows in VA, PA. We were
Hell yeah.
moving, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And taking people. Like, yo,
Yeah.
and giving them jobs. Like, yo, listen, this is what, yo, you can come with us. Yeah, you can sleep in the hotel. We got all that. But when we get here, this is what you're doing.
Right.
Holding them accountable. Like, yo, listen, just because that's my man, don't mean he going to just come in here and just hang out. Nah, you going to come in here tonight. you going to get emails. you going to
Right.
sell merch. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And you
Right.
going to come
Take
to the
inventory.
show. Yeah, you going to all come to the show wearing the same shirt.
Yeah. Right.
Be 40, 50 of us in there. People like, yo, that's how I met Fred the Godson. Rest in peace. We did a show with him through Mike and De Niro. And by the shirts, we ended up talking. Because he's like, yo, I was looking at y'all when I was performing. It's like 40 of y'all in here. Like, who are y'all? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that caught his eye. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we chopped it up. And I actually got this guy I know, an artist out of Brooklyn, New York, called Jay Bars. He got a song with Fred the Godson through that the video and all that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really being outside, man. Being outside, meeting people, talking to people, going to those shows, artists, and don't leave after you perform. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that. You know what I mean? And going to another performance just because you're not performing. Like, if I was in New York, I would have been at your event.
I
Like,
know.
you know what I'm
ready to
saying?
fly up.
That's what type of time, like, I would have, if wasn't working, or if I didn't have my kids, or I wasn't doing something family, because that comes first, regardless. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I'm not doing something of that nature, I'm in the building.
Yeah, no, you dead ass were like, yo, I might have to go up there. I did a great job of promoting that thing that you got hype enough that you was about to come up here if something didn't hold you back.
You did get me hype. You did get me hype. But what fucked me up was the plane prices. You know, the gas and shit is going up. It's fucking shit up. A flight we were getting for $30, $40 because of COVID. Them shit went up to $200. I'm like, what the? I just went to Puerto Rico. Shit cost me $200. Like, what the fuck? Like,
I know. You definitely teased us though, because I think you got SHAD like extra excited that you were gonna come up here. Y'all, it wasn't even just me who was excited. I think SHAD was like, "Really, you gonna come up here?" Like,
no, yeah, because I don't go back. I don't go back a lot, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like, once I sold my house, one time. Yeah, now I'm gonna come back. I plan on. I'm trying to go this summer, but I don't know when I'm gonna make it. But the last time I was there, I actually snuck up on him. He was getting married, and I'm like, I'm not coming. You know what I'm saying? I can't make it. You know what I mean? I ended up flying out there anyway. That was the last time. That was the last time I was out there.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Christopher Rodriguez of the RECBOY in the studio every Wednesday, 7 p.m. on Facebook, IG, and Instagram. Yo, I wasn't playing though, bro. There's a What We Talking About show where I did by myself, and I got on my megaphone, and bro, it's the most perfect audio that you could get promoing your show. I'm surprised that SHAD hasn't ripped it yet.
Now he told me he's going to. I didn't get to hear it.
Perfect. It's perfect. I was so proud of myself in that moment because, like, I didn't stumble a word. I did not say what I needed to say. Like, everything came out perfect, and it's on the megaphone. You know what I'm saying? So, like, use that. You got my full permission. Like,
dope. Yeah, now he told me about it because I didn't get to hear. I tuned in later.
Yeah,
and then you had said it. You had said on the live, and then Shop said, "Yo, Gabe did some shit. I'm gonna go get it and chop it up." I'm like, "All right, let me know when you get it so I can hear it."
Yeah, no, he need to. But yo, I want to thank you for joining me, man. This Voice of the Valley Live was a lot of fun, man. I learned a lot about you. I'm super excited for you and for your show, and DJ RECBOY SHAD out there doing your show in the studio at the RECBOYs every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Make sure you're tuning in out there. But Chris, man, thank you for joining me, brother.
Nah, thank you for having me, man. Really, I really appreciate this because, like I said, people need to, you know what I mean, get to know me a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not just because even on the show, I'm just sometimes too blunt, and people don't understand. Like, my problem is I don't know how to say it any other way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just boom. It is what it is. But thank you for having me, man. Real talk.
Yeah, no, and I get it real quick with the show because, like, you know, when we're doing What We Talking About and we're doing, you know, in the studio, we have an agenda. You know what I'm saying? You straight up have an agenda. You know what I mean? Like I have like segments I need to get to. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're not getting this from me. You can't, because my mind's on. I'm on Showtime. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know. So I appreciate you, dog. Let's get up out of here. It's Voice of the Valley. It's Finally TV. Mr. Catchrat, Chris Rodriguez was in the building. Salute to everybody that tuned in. Really do appreciate y'all. Peace.